I'm sure you guys know who Steven Tyler is. He's a huge rock star, but are you aware of his deep, dark past? Specifically, the past with a 16-year-old girl that he adopted, impregnated, and then abandoned. Let's dive in. Steven Tyler was the frontman for Aerosmith. So throughout the 70s, throughout the 80s, and throughout the 90s, he was a very well-known rock star. And like any other rock star of the time, he was known for loving groupies. He was known to take a couple of girls and take them backstage after a show and have a great time. Specifically, one day, though, he met one girl that he saw in the crowd of one of his shows. She was actually brought there via an older woman who was part of a group that would take a bunch of young girls that were going through some rough situations and bring them to rock stars to basically pimp them out without them knowing. One of the girls in this group was a girl named Julia who turned 16 just the week prior. And she was brought to one of Steven Tyler's shows where Steven said that when he locked eyes on her, it was just an instant connection. He immediately loved her, which is disturbing given the circumstances. But he took her backstage and they did what he does to groupies. And afterwards, he told her just to stay with him, never go home. They were hooking up pretty regularly after that. So Steven Tyler asked 16-year-old Julia to start going on tour with him, except one little issue there. She was 16. She was a minor. He knew that he would get in trouble for taking a minor across state lines without permission. So behind her back, he went and talked to her parents. He requested that her parents sign over custody to Steven Tyler so that way he would be the guardian, so that way he could be able to take her wherever he wanted to go without getting in trouble. And they agreed. Julia said that she was completely blindsided. She had no idea this conversation was happening, and she was really hurt because she didn't know why her parents would just agree to give her away, and she felt really abandoned. And she felt at this point she had no choice but to go with Steven because who else would she go to? So she decided to go on tour with him. She thought it would be fun, so they go on tour. He's going from state to state, taking her show to show, getting her severely addicted to some stuff. One day, Steven goes, I really want to have a baby. I want you to have my baby. And then he threw her birth control out the window, so she really didn't have a choice in the matter. And within a few months, surprise, she got pregnant. And they were ecstatic. They were actually really excited. And he said that he wanted to get married until he brought her back home. And that's when reportedly his paternal grandmother and his dad just weren't really a fan of the situation. They didn't like how young she was. She didn't like that she was already pregnant. They just weren't a fan. And his grandmother refused to give him the family ring. And pretty much at that point, as soon as he didn't have his family's approval, he stopped caring. He checked out. So he uses the baby as an excuse. And he says, for the next tour, I think it would be safer if you just stay home and live in the apartment. I'll just go on tour and come back. But he didn't leave any money. He would not let her go to any doctors because he was worried that because he was her guardian, it would look bad if she was pregnant and they found out that it was his baby. We left her in the apartment and refused to take her to the doctor, and he went on tour. He would call her every day and check up on her, make sure everything is good, but eventually she ran out of food. So on their call, she said, hey, I really need you to figure out a way to get food into the apartment. I don't have money. I'm hungry. I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do. So he says, you know what, don't worry about it. I'll just have my ex-bandmate, my childhood friend, come and drop off food tomorrow. He'll take you to the grocery store. He'll handle it. But reportedly what happened was his friend came over, and all Julia remembers is his friend coming over, her letting him into the door, and then her going unconscious and waking up in a house fire where the door is bolted shut so she can't open it. She crawled into the fireplace so that way she could have the vent of air and just breathed in the little bit of air there was until a fireman finally rescued her. She was about 5 months pregnant at this time. Miraculously, both her and the baby were fine, but of course they were put into the hospital for a few days just to be monitored. And when she woke up, Steven was right there at her bedside. She thought at first that he was there to support her, but she was very wrong. He was there to tell her that he decided that she needs to get an abortion, even though they planned the baby, even though they were excited about it, and even though she very much so wanted this pregnancy. And that's when he informed her, I'm your guardian. I already signed off on the paperwork. I already organized it. I'm a huge celebrity. They already made exceptions, said that they'll do a late-term abortion for you. I already got everything set up. You're getting it done today. And she said, no, I'm putting my foot down. This is not happening. I'm not going to do that. And that's when he said, either you're going to get done right this second, right now, today, because if you do it any later, they're not going to do it. Or when we get out of this hospital, I'm going to leave you on the side of the road and you're going to have no way to take care of the baby, no way to take care of yourself, and you guys will starve because neither your parents want you and neither do I. And at this point, she said that she was so overwhelmed of the entire situation. She felt like she had no power over the fact that, neither her parents wanted her. Steven was literally her guardian, telling her she had no choice. So she went through with it. And guess what? He still abandoned her after she did it. And then he went on to have a very long, lucrative career.